Hey everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my intro for part 1 of 2 of my studio plant tour for spring 2020. This was filmed back in May. In today's video, you are going to see the overview of my studio. So you'll get to see the little changes that I did to the layout of my furniture and styling plants, as well as the first part of my tour for my Santa Monica studio. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video, which you will see part 2 of the studio along with a giveaway. Hey everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my home here in Santa Monica, California, and welcome to my spring 2020 plant tour studio edition. In today's video, I'm super excited to bring you into my space to share with you what's currently being styled and living in my studio. My collection does switch up every week, whether I'm moving plants in or out of my studio, bringing in more plants into my collection, selling or gifting them. There's always some kind of activity happening in the collection, but this has been my current layout over the past couple of weeks. Sheltering at home for about 70 days now. When the city lockdown, I did move my furniture pieces around, so my bed is now tucked in this dark corner, which you'll see in a second. I was able to bring my living room furniture out here in the center and style more plants, so that was really exciting for me. I've been in this studio for a couple of years now, and I've never switched up the layout of my furniture, but this way I'm able to bring more plants into my space. If you've never seen my studio tours before, I have one window here in my kitchen area that brings natural lighting, or if I open up my patio door, I'll have natural lighting coming in this way. But for the most part, there is a lot of dark corners in my space, which is really sad because I would love to fill up my studio with a lot of green babies. Different sections in my home that are really dark does not have any plants, unfortunately, but I do make the most of this space. For the end of the video, I will be doing another giveaway, which I love doing in my plant tours every quarter. So here's just a quick little overview of my studio. If you stand in the patio, this is what you see. I do have a few plants right here by the entryway, because I have natural lighting when the patio door is open, and immediately on the left hand side you see my bed tucked in a corner. I really love that I switched it up because I'm able to bring more plants in my space with the bed in this dark corner. Alright, so here we are standing in front of the entryway. I love that my bed is now tucked in the corner, so you can't really see it, and I don't have any plants anyway in that section because of the dark space. But as you see right in front of me in the center, my love seat came out of the corner, and my vintage bear coffee table is front and center. And hugging around that section is a bunch of plants, which is really nice. And I'm able to sit on my love seat now and enjoy and relax. If you watch any of my day in the life of Jewelyn, you see that I spent a lot of time sitting there, and whether I'm editing my videos or sewing my costumes, I love now being able to relax in that section, and it's just like a nice flow for having just a big square opening. As you see directly from here, you can see my bathroom, and so that kind of gives you a little sneak peek of what's to come in the next tour. On the right hand side, there is no plants, so that's really sad, but I do have usually one plant. It kind of rotates on my dining table. I love my vintage dining set a lot. I do work a lot on this space as well, so I try to not have a lot of plants, but usually one plant will rotate there. And as you see, I have my baker's rack next to my window, and I have a bunch of plants on there as well. So if you are laying down in my bed, this is the point of view looking towards my kitchen area. As you see, I don't have a full kitchen, but I make use of my space with a baker's rack, and I'm able to house a handful of plants on the top, so that's really nice. And I have my thrifted shelf here on the left hand side, which I had for several years now. I probably picked it up for $20 or less, and I'm always rotating plants there. And as you see, that's probably the most highest point of styling a plant on a shelf for me in my studio. So I do have one of my older trailing houseplants there living on the top. It definitely gives jungle vibes for me to be able to have a plant style that high. I love being able to thrift for different things. So my kitchen island is super small, and that's where I do all of my food prep, but I do have a handful of plants there and a lot of propagation. So this is a point of view from the refrigerator in the dark corner where there's no plants. As you see, I'm able to house more plant babies in this section now that my bed is not there. This is where I get natural lighting. I have a bunch of plants on that shelf next to my love seat that doesn't require a lot of light, so I do make use of that space as well. I still do have my plant shelf in the same section, and that has been working out really well for me. for the past couple of months since I did the switch up, placing it in front of my bed there. When my bed was living in this section, I decided to bring my DIY plant shelf right in front of it, and I absolutely love that I did that because the plant babies do get a lot of natural lighting right there. So I decided to keep the shelf there and just kind of incorporate more plants hugging on both sides, which you'll see in a second. So here's my point of view sitting on my love seat looking towards the patio and my bed. As you see, there's not a lot of natural light in this corner, so I just make do with a few plants living right by the door. I do keep this door to my patio open when I'm home so that I do get natural lighting. I can see my patio babies and my fountain. It just keeps it nice and open and airy. So working with a few plants there in the corner keeps me happy. But ideally, I would love to be sleeping with lots of different plants surrounding me for more jungle vibes, but I make do with my space, and this is what the corner looks like. If you watch my plant tours, with this section here, I wasn't able to put any plants anyway in this section, and it just makes more sense to have my bed in this corner. So let me know, what do you guys think with the switch of the bed moving in this corner? Do you like it? Do you think it works better? Sound off in the comments. So here's my point of view from my kitchen sink. As you see, the plant shelf is still here, and I absolutely love that I kept it here. I'm able to house a bunch of different babies. I'm able to hug more plants on both sides of it, and it just makes me super happy to be able to have this much green in this section. As you see, a lot of natural lighting hits it, and it works perfect for me. It was originally housing all of my glass pantry jars that I use for my dry goods, but I decided to use it for plant babies, and I'm glad I did the switch. It works out so well that I can have many of them here. I'm at my baker's rack cooking. This is my point of view. I have just several babies in this corner here, and I have one hanging macrame system in my studio. It's 3-tier. I'm able to house a few babies there, but for the most part, I would really love to have a whole bunch of hanging plants in my studio. Maybe I might add one in the back corner there next to the right side of my vanity in the future. But for now, I just have one hanging macrame set up here, and I am able to have a plant stand here. It's a 2-tier, so I'm able to have a plant on top and on the bottom. And if you remember in my previous videos, I had a big plant gang there, but not anymore. But I still am able to style a few plants there, and that keeps me happy. Currently, I have 2 plants in the front of my home. I have my original Dracaena here, which I got from Las Vegas probably 4 or 5 years ago. I absolutely love this thing. Dracaenas are a hit or miss with me. At one point, this was living in my bathroom, but it's been currently living in this section here for a couple of weeks now. It seems happy. And I just have my Lebanon cedar art here hanging out. I'll eventually probably hang it up on the wall somewhere. And then I have my beautiful George Jr. here. A bunch of my plant friends and friends have plant babies from my George Jr., but this is not George, and this is not George's baby. This is just my second Monstera that I originally got that had really small leaves that I got from Trader Joe's probably 4 or 5 years ago in Las Vegas, and it's now giving me a lot of new splits. I'll show you in a second. But I just gave my friend Lance 3 babies from him, George Jr., and it's living in Glendale here in Southern California. And I believe my plant friend Sonia also has a part of George Jr. So it's nice to be able to spread plant love, and you'll see in a second he has tons of splits. Both of these plant babies have been with me for probably 4.5, 5 years now from Las Vegas. I absolutely love looking at them, and George Jr. sleeps right next to me. And then as you see, there's lots of splits. I don't see a leaf that is fully split with fenestrations, but I am looking forward to celebrate when that happens. This one just unfurled for me yesterday, so this is probably the most fenestrations I see on him. So he's growing up. So it looks like George Jr. is super happy living next to me. There's a different point of view. So as you see, a lot of light coming from the patio, keeping both of them happy. So here we are at my vintage dining table. I absolutely love all things vintage, whether it's clothes or furniture pieces. So here's the current plant that is living on my vintage dining table. It changes every time. It just depends on what I'm feeling. So this has been living on the dining table as of today. So it'll stay here for the next couple of weeks. Now my original Pilea peperomioides unfortunately died, and it wasn't a fast grower at all. It kind of stressed me out if you watched unboxing years ago. But I did get another Pilea peperomioides that has tons of babies. So my second mother plant that I purchased is doing really good, super huge. It is in my patio plant tour, living on my Tiffany blue table with tons of babies. I'm not going to propagate from it. Both of my plants that I originally bought, mother plants, they're super expensive, and now you see them propagating everywhere in the States. But back when I got mine, they were very rare. This is my second mother plant's baby, and I actually gave my plant friend, my client subscriber Sonia, its first baby that was growing in here. So that was really exciting for me because I have like grandchildren now from my mother plant, which is super cool to see my mother plant's baby get gifted to somebody that is a big part of my plant life. I love being able to share from my collection. So it's little things like that that keeps me happy, and the plant life circle continues to go round and round. So I love this plant, very easy propagator. The mother plant I will not take from. I love the fullness of it, and I'm trying to train it to grow straight up. If you watch my patio plant tour, you'll see the big mother plants with tons of babies, and I love that. I have one in my studio, and I have a few of the brothers or sisters living in my bathroom, and you'll see that in the bathroom. There is a few things happening on this shelf. I thrifted this shelf several years ago for a couple dollars, and it's been housing several different things, but lately it's been housing plants. If you watch my last plant tour when my bed was here, this shelf was living on the left side of my bed, and now it is living on the right side of my love seat. All Sansevierias here. They're low maintenance and they're okay in low lighting. As you see right now, there is not a natural lighting coming in this direction, so they're not completely in the dark. Bunch of Sansevierias. I believe these ones came from California. This one came from Long Beach. This is one of my favorite Sansevierias. I love them all. You guys have to watch my collective video that I did about a year ago. I need to do an updated one. This is a Sansevieria replacement to replace my Samurai that I got from Las Vegas. Kira and I got it at the same time. Really huge. Hers is doing really good, but when the rain hit my collection, it died, and I replaced it with this, but it's not the same. This is like a dwarf variation of the Samurai, but I still love it. My last Sansevieria collective video. I'm slowly rebuilding my collection because I believe I lost about 10 to 12 Sansevierias, so very unfortunate. Here's also another replacement, my Sansevieria starfish, which is living on the top tier of my macrame hanger, what's left of it. This is the replacement, and I believe I got this one from Las Vegas, and there's a baby there, so lots of cute new growth. I love all of my Sansevierias in white planters. If you haven't noticed, or if you watch the collective, then you'll see they're all in white. Several different ones here, and they're all giving me lots of new growth, which is really fun to see. There's another one here. Just love them. My love for Sansevieria is never gonna go away. They're weird, they're interesting, they're low maintenance, they're just fun to collect. But if you see, I collect all plants, so but I will never say no to Sansevierias. I collect a lot of plants, and there's a few that I will pass, but a Sansevieria I will never say no to. I just love them. Lots of babies, and I know a bunch of you guys also collect Sansevierias and have reached out to me and purchased babies off of me, so that's really fun. So I guess it's officially the Sansevieria shelf, and it works really well. I can still have a little knickknacks like my thrifted out from Japan. As you see, I love blue and white, so I just have a few things from the Netherlands and Japan here with the blue and white theme that you see throughout my collection. I have two houseplants currently here, my philodendron ciliums. Both of them I believe came from Las Vegas. They were super tiny. I purchased them about 4 or 5 years ago, but they're wild and crazy. This one is staked up on a pole, this one isn't, but I try to kind of hug them together so they don't go wild and crazy. Ideally, I would love to see them like kind of tucked in a corner against a white wall, but I'm working with what I have. This one is in a white planter, and it's in a thrifted stand that I painted white, and then this one is in a cobalt blue planter, both from Las Vegas that I got several years ago. Absolutely love both of them, and I love being able to have them in my studio.
So this is a new section for me because my bed was living here and I never had plants in this little pocket of my studio, and now that my bed's in the corner, I'm able to have this little plant gang here, and I absolutely love it. And as you see, my propagation station with my water vessels are still being used. Plant babies come in and out. Apparently, I have a lot of Tradescantia propagating in here. The cutting on the top left was like a bonus plant from one of my online orders, and I believe that is a heartleaf philodendron. A lot of Tradescantias. I'm also propagating watermelon peperomia on the bottom right. But I love being able to have these on the wall, and as you see, the natural lighting is hitting it. It's perfect, and it gives more green vibes to my space. If you haven't watched a video of me putting it up, I definitely enjoy being able to have at least some plant babies on my wall.
Here we are on the floor with a bunch of interesting plant babies. I got my silver sword here. Love this guy, super rare. And it seems to be very happy here. I'll show you in a second. A lot of unfurling leaves. And then down here I have my Prince of Orange. And this thing is such a giver. I love the way that it's styled in a low bow. And as you see here, I have my second Monstera adansonii doing lots of new growth that I staked it up on moss pole. I need to do more moss poles, by the way, because my plant babies have outgrown them and they all need an extra 2 feet more of growth. All of my babies, guys, that I had staked up on my DIY poles, I need to give them taller poles to grow on because they're now past the poles by like 2 feet, which is super crazy. This is a original baby that I got from the Bay Area last year when I was there for my dance intensive, and I can't remember where I got these plant babies from. I have so many plant babies, it's so hard to keep track of where I get everything, but I know this one for sure came from the Bay Area. And if you haven't watched how I traveled with that plant, go ahead and find it on my channel. And I'm glad that I decided to bring the whole plant back. That was definitely one of my favorite finds in my Bay Area travels. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be going to the Bay Area this year because of the pandemic. I won't be able to go to the Bay Area for the intensive this year, which is so sad because I love being able to film content for both of my channels there. So at least I have my Monstera adansonii to commemorate my summer last year in the Bay Area for my dance school. My vintage bear coffee table, if anything, may have one plant, but for the most part I don't like to have anything on it because I'm constantly like putting my tea here with candles. I might be editing here, I might be sewing and using this space. So if anything, I would have one plant on here. I think last time I did the tour I had a little Sansevieria here. But it's okay. I have all of my travel little trinkets on here that I like to look at. Now that I have all this open space with my bed not being here, as you see, there's a lot of natural lighting. So eventually I would like to have more plant babies here. But for now, this is what I have and I absolutely love it. So here's the top point of view of my plant babies on the ground. I would love to bring them more up. Like if I could have them maybe sitting on an upside down planter, I'll probably do that after this video. I love different level changes and I just feel so sad for them that they're so low to the ground, but I'm so happy that I get to have natural lighting at least here to hug more plants in. Here we are on my DIY shelf. So many cool interesting babies. I'll start from the bottom and then I'll work my way up. Got some Ripsalises hanging out here in the bottom. I remember at least the city where I purchased the plant babies, I'll let you know, but I have a bunch of Ripsalises here. And I get really creative with the blue and white planters. These are from the kitchen section of Home Goods in Las Vegas, and I just drilled holes in them. I try to do one drill with me video a month to inspire you to drill holes in your planters. I also love owl planters as well. I'll do an owl planter collective showing you how I style plants in them. This Haworthia came from Southern California. A bunch of my Haworthias come from Las Vegas. That one came particularly from Southern California. Here's an interesting one too. Tons of, I love going to the kitchen section or thrift shops to get creative with finding planters for my plant babies, and I just love the aesthetic of that. Super cute. And down here we have another Ripsalis. Love it. And these cobalt blue and white planters came from, I believe, TJ Maxx Las Vegas several years ago. So that is everything living on the bottom shelves. I guess a lot of hardier plant babies live on the bottom shelf. In the middle row, there's some fun things happening here. We have two Enleca. I have my second
a philodendron Brazil on the right corner pocket there. Big original mother plant is living on my wooden door of my patio. Super big. I have a part of it propagating in water, you'll see in a second. But I wanted to experiment with different plants in LECA, and I didn't want to take from my mother plant. So this has been living in a LECA setup, and I absolutely love it. I think it's doing great. At one point, this was living on my coffee table, but I decided to move it here to balance the LECA. Another peperomia living in LECA, and this is all cuttings from my plant friend Carrie's mother plant. I'm kind of interested to see how her mother plant is doing, and I decided to style it in LECA. Here's one of my favorite Ripsalises. Oh my goodness, I love this thing. It's interesting, and this plant came from my Los Angeles plant show. That's where I get all my weird and quirky babies. A lot of them live in the front of my home, but I do love incorporating a bunch of Ripsalises in my space. Here is my newest plant baby. This is my baby rubber plant. My big mother plant, actually in my patio right now, is giving me new babies, so it'll be in this month's pot of fame. But I decided to get me another small one, and I'm able to house it here in a white planter. Never stood behind the stand here. Very interesting point of view. My squamophorum from my recent trade with my subscriber in Santa Clarita. That was our third trade. I see a bird in my patio. They like to come in my studio too. So if you've been keeping up with my plant life, you know that I purchased this plant for my birthday last year. The rain hit it and it was not happy. It basically fell off from the main stem, and I had over 15 leaves fall off, and that was the end of that plant. A part of me kind of wished that I kept the root ball and the stems to see if something would pop up, but I was so devastated that I think I don't have that anymore. I think I might have tossed it out, I'm not sure. But luckily my subscriber was nice enough to trade me her plant, and she got a big rooted section of my epiphyllum that I call Bob Marley. So that was a really nice trade. And then here is my one Monstera Thai constellation. I'll bring it up so you can see. There's 3 leaves. I actually had to prune off the 2 smaller ones because it was yellowing and not happy. My second Thai constellation Monstera I sold off to my subscriber in Brooklyn. She has purchased a handful of plants for me. I definitely don't mind sharing. If you guys ask me, I will try to make it happen for you. Because I had 2, I didn't mind selling off one to her, so this was the one that I kept. So here's another fun pothos, and I haven't had this one for a while. This has been with me in my collection probably for about 4 or 5 months. This was from my subscriber plant trade in Long Beach. I think we're gonna trade again next month, so that'll be fun. And I believe this is the Manjula. I absolutely love being able to have plant babies from you guys. Reach out to me if you live in Southern California and see plant babies that maybe I don't have that I might be interested in. I would love to trade, and it's fun to meet you guys in person as well. Here we have my beautiful original Monstera Adansonii. 2 different Monstera Adansonii. I have the smaller leaf and I have the bigger leaf form. I love both of them. They're both different and they're both interesting. I will collect them all. But this one, I'm trying to remember where I got it. I might have got this one from maybe the Los Angeles flea market. I'm not too sure. I can't remember where I got this one. But this has been with me for a while, and I try to keep it happy by misting it often, and I love that it's able to trail on the side of this DIY stand. So that's everything on the top shelf. Apparently I have a lot of big houseplants on here, but this has been like a recent new look to the top shelf, because at one point I think I had a lot of Sansevierias, but ever since I had the squamophorum, I kind of just trended over to the rest to be all houseplants.
Alright you guys, that is going to wrap up today's video, part 1 of 2. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video where we wrap up the second part of the plant tour for my studio along with another giveaway. So I'll see you tomorrow. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads between the main channel Monday to Thursday and the vlog channel Friday to Sunday. You get a video each and every day. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California and Las Vegas, Nevada. Bye!